Let's get back to getting ticks instead of
order. Roll call, please.
Grant.
Here.
Iverson.
Here.
Hutton. Poppy.
Here.
Denkirk.
Here.
Boswell John. Split.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from July 19th and or October 18th?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October 18th and July 19th.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving both sets of minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. First item on the agenda is CSM combining 210, 212 Watson Street for Dietrich Jewelers. Looks like a fairly straightforward, no issues.
Yeah, actually, they want to sell more jewelry, so they can they combine in the two stores.
Well, they not want to knock a hole in the wall.
Yeah, I think, yeah. They
No,
started today.
no lot line issues at all.
No, but there's Actually, the lines are, shared foundations, shared walls.
Okay. Any issues from building inspection? Any discussions or motions?
I have a question on what happens if they want to revert back to 2 stores? Is there a need for a fire door?
Then they'd have to close the opening back in or put a 4-hour door in.
Can they keep it as one property yet with just that fire door? Or do they have to split it up again?
If it goes to 2 separate parcels, they'd have to split it.
I guess,
But if it's 2 stores,
But
yes.
they could
two
rent,
stores.
They could rent the other one out and just
could
put,
resell.
it could just be an hour-rated door between the 2 businesses.
it would be
Wouldn't
a
have to
suite
4
A,
hours.
suite B.
okay. But if they would want to sell it or something, then it's
Then
a
they'd
fire
have to have-
door?
Yep, they'd have
Okay.
to, they'd probably have to close it back up with a concrete block wall.
Yeah.
So part of the conversation with this particular project was the aesthetics of a door in the middle of their jewelry shop and how that would look, and versus just an opening. And so by doing an opening, they had to create one parcel versus, in the example you provided, they could have gone with a door or some sort of fire barrier or something there and kept them separate, but that would not have looked.
Right, and that's fine. Yeah.
Especially in a jewelry store.
It's been in the same family. The same owner has owned it, I think, for years, both buildings. If I'm right, it was Bob Matthew that owned it, so, okay. And it does not affect any of the bid money, right?
No, the assessments will be lumped
assessed,
together.
so-
It'll
When-
likely,
When I do the same thing with my building, they just added the 2 parcels value together.
Yeah, okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the CSM combining 210, 212 Watson Street, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved.
And get some signatures, huh?
Sure.
Today you can.
Yeah, right away.
Today you can.
Get them correct. Yeah, here it is.
Those plans, I had to get those
Just
on
in
my
one spot.
screen, and
I can barely.
I zoomed them way in just so I could see what the legends were.
You done?
Not too bad, how you been?
what is the date?
They're the one, yeah.
Of November?
Maternity leave coverage next year.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, thanks for that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a site plan for Signature Way for 850 Stanton Street. Speaking with Bill Hope last week at the almost meeting, said we're doing a warehouse addition. Any issues for zoning or building inspection?
No, meets height requirements, setback requirements. Stormwater, they're basically putting a building on top of hard surface, so there's really no additional stormwater issues.
Okay.
Just moving some existing piping around on the site to make it look like a new addition.
I took a look from Google Maps, and they are losing some grass, some green area. Is there any consideration on that for stormwater?
That little bit.
Thank
Not,
you.
it doesn't affect their totals or anything? Okay. I know that there's certain sizes you hit before you have to have retainage or management for it. Okay. I also had a question on the lighting plan, and maybe, I think, they're not here, but Do they have those lights on timers for the parking lot there? Because I noticed there's not a lot of vegetation from that parking lot to the houses. And I don't think, they're adding lights onto the building that they're proposing, so they're gonna be pretty limited, you know, they're not gonna project out towards the house as much. But I'm just curious if those would be on timers or anything, because I know sometimes you have those sodium lamps, or if they have LEDs and you got bedrooms, you know, there's houses on the south side here. If there's any concerns or notes on light impingement.
Well, by the time you get to the property line, we're down at like point.
Very
actually,
low,
or That
yeah.
other addition, it's like a .15 luminaires, so by the time they get to the property line.
It's almost
there-
nothing.
There'll be nothing.
Okay.
But once in a while, them LED lights, even though they're shining down, it might project right into somebody's window, and that's when we'll address it. But they might have to put a shield on it at a later date.
Yeah, I know that from my house specifically, that's why when I saw they, you know, I know they had luminance mapping done, so it should be okay, but. That was all I had.
I got a dumb question. Where it says saw cut on this map, are they tearing up the existing blacktop and then they're pitching the new so it drains?
See the words.
The whole, you know, there's like a weird looking,
Yeah.
is that their reason? There's even that one that says proposed asphalt, and it's shaded out in gray. I'm just curious why they're making such a irregular saw cut all the way around.
Well, they're putting in a new loading dock for one thing.
There's also some sewer pipe and water pipe, I think. that
Yeah,
goes
there's
down
a
to there,
drain
so
pipe
they're
I saw.
probably- I would imagine to help and facilitate the,
I don't want to prolong the meeting, I just was curious why they were, if you see
It might
the,
be a bill question, you know, maybe the asphalt's just broken up really bad in that area,
yeah,
and they're replacing it. I know, like down here, this is the new loading dock in this area.
yeah. It doesn't change my mind on anything.
It does look like, if I'm reading it right, above the saw cut, there's gonna be new asphalt. So it might just be patching.
Yeah, it must be, and I don't know if they're doing it so they can get the water to drain out.
Or just replacing bad asphalt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look, it looks like they're replacing some asphalt over some existing parking places. See, it kind of nicks a couple of them, so,
And they probably got to remove that area, because they'll tear it up. with
yeah, they're
their
gonna tear it up, they're gonna
equipment.
put a building on it.
Yeah,
on this, you can see the saw cut kind of comes down here to
Mhm.
maybe meet this existing line for the
Yeah.
drainage there.
And I think it all tries to drain to the stormwater
That
where
basin right there.
addressing it in the site. So
Mhm.
they probably have to get it to go.
yeah, pitch
to
it
go-
down.
Pitch it down away.
If you look at the satellite view, the area they're cutting out is a different color asphalt, so it's probably in really bad shape, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably.
Better, that may not be asphalt, who knows what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what's up there.
Well, it's labeled as asphalt
It's-
Well,
yeah,
It's just the
If it was
existing
asphalt,
asphalt.
it might be,
At one
might
point.
be
yeah,
some grass, I mean.
Yeah.
right.
Any further discussion or motions?
I'll motion to approve the, what is the title of this?
Site plan.
A site plan for signature wafer.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the site plan for signature wafer, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. zoning code updates.
I don't really have anything to report on that, other than there's been just conversations about reviewing sections of the zoning code, just updating and refreshing them. So, for example, like the downtown business district, looking at the allowable uses, conditional uses. So there's been discussion at the Main Street with Craig T-Bon about that. Just, you know, I don't know when the next time we'll get a haberdashery in, but I mean, I'm just saying, you know, looking at that, you know, we've started to talk about that with the Main Street, so I just wanted to let you know that, as well as looking at the industrial code as well, and really looking at how that's worded to be a little more clear on some things, because there's just some projects and things that are called into question, whether something would require a conditional use or it's an allowable use, and just kind of cleaning that up as well would be advised. I don't think there's been a comprehensive review of the zoning ordinances for many years, but for the residential that we just did, we did update the residential. So looking at the other sections as well, you know, just to make sure that we are making sense, and also from the perspective of conditional use permits, I don't know if there's ever been a real reconciliation between the law changes that occurred a few years ago with conditional use permits and our code. So the process and what we need to be looking at. So we're just thinking of all that. So it's nothing that there's something overly wrong or that we have to move incredibly fast on, but this stuff does take a lot of time and requires public hearings and input, and so we're going to start looking at redrafting little by little sections, and at that point, you know, if you're going to go through that, you might as well do a little bit more, but you just keep opening every can of worm, and you don't want to necessarily just not have progress toward trying to make some improvements. So we've talked a lot with Sue about just project specific. Certainly some of the conversations with the new public works director and his experience in other communities is very valuable to just get a different perspective and how things maybe worked better. So so that's all my update on it. Nothing really to act on, but just wanted to kind of give everybody a heads up that that might be coming down in the next, you know, 3 to 6 months.
When you mentioned the industrial district, that one I've always had a question about. We have 3 industrial districts in the zoning code, but on our zoning map, we've got 1 industrial district. So when you go to the zoning code, it's very confusing because people call, which one do we follow? Follow the I district, the first one, because we don't have an I2, we don't have an I3.
What are the other two?
I2 is the business park, but it's never labeled that way, it's just labeled I. It was never, our industrial park was never labeled I2, it was just labeled I.
All right.
So that's all I have.
Good. Any future agenda items?
We'll have a meeting in December. There'll be a project on it. What day would you prefer to meet? Because if we wait until the 3rd Wednesday, that is the 20th, and that is the week of Christmas. So I would recommend either meeting likely on the 13th, or the 6th might be a little tight, just based on deadlines, but.
Just do the 13th.
13th is fine for me so far.
Okay.
Will that be regular time then?
Yes, try to. Back on to.
Sorry, Sue.
All right. Anything else? I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned at 5:07.